Hello children, I am here with fourth part of the same chapter, acid, bases and salts. And in this video we will discuss about preparation of insoluble salts and properties of salts. Okay, first we will start with properties of salts. Okay, properties of salt is that first is salts are ionic compound. It is made up of ions, so they can conduct electricity in molten or aqueous state. Now solubility of salt. What is solubility? When 1 gram of salts dissolve in 100 milliliters of water at room temperature at 298 Kelvin, then you can say it is soluble salt. Okay. So if 1 gram is dissolving in 100 milliliters of water, then it is soluble salt. If it is dissolving 0.1 grams to 1 grams, then it is partially soluble. Okay. But if it is dissolving less than 1.1 gram, then you can say it is insoluble salt. Okay. If it is dissolving 1 gram, at least 1 gram, then in 100 milliliters, then it is soluble. In between 0.1 to 1, then it is partially soluble, and if it is less than 0.1 gram, then it is insoluble salt. Now some points you have to remember for the solubility of salts. Okay, first point is that all salts of sodium, potassium and ammonium are soluble, like sodium chloride, potassium sulfate, ammonium chloride. These all salts are soluble in water. Now second point is all chlorides are soluble. Okay. Zinc chloride, calcium chloride, copper chloride, these all are soluble. But some exceptions are there, like lead chloride and silver chloride and mercury chloride, Hg2Cl2. Okay. So these all are insoluble chlorides. But lead chloride is soluble in hot water. Okay. When lead chloride is dissolved in hot water, it will be soluble. But other chlorides are soluble in water only. Exception is lead chloride, silver chloride and mercury chloride. Okay. Lead chloride is soluble in hot water. Now next is third point is all sulfates are SO4 2 minus ions are soluble. Okay, all sulfates are soluble. Iron sulfate, copper sulfate, sodium sulfate, these all are soluble. But here also some exceptions are there. Lead sulfate, barium sulfate, aluminium sulfate and calcium sulfate. These are insoluble sulfates. Okay, lead chloride also insoluble, lead sulfate also insoluble. Now third is all nitrates NO3 minus and nitrites NO2 minus. Okay, nitrates and nitrites are soluble. Here no exception is there. Zinc nitrate, copper nitrate, sodium nitrate, calcium nitrate, lead nitrate. Okay, lead chloride, lead sulfate, these are insoluble, but lead nitrate is soluble because all nitrates are soluble. There is no exception. Now fifth point, all carbonates CO3 2 minus, bicarbonates HCO3 minus and sulfides S2 minus and sulfides SO3 2 minus. These all are insoluble in water. Okay, these all salts are insoluble in water. Examples are zinc sulfate, iron sulfate, zinc carbonate, potassium carbonate, okay, and sodium sulfate. So children, zinc sulfate, iron sulfate, zinc carbonate, potassium carbonate and sodium sulfate. So these all are insoluble. But can you tell me, out of these, some salts are soluble. Okay, some salts are soluble. These are potassium sulfate carbonate and sodium sulfate. Okay, why? Because first point was that all salts of sodium, potassium and ammonium are soluble. Okay, so when it is coming with sodium, potassium or ammonium is coming with any carbonate, bicarbonate, sulfite or sulfide, then you can say these are soluble. That means priority will be given to this will be priority will be given to this sodium, potassium and ammonium salt. Okay, clear children? If any other element is there, then you can say these are insoluble. But if they contain sodium, potassium or ammonium, then you can say these are carbonates, but it is of potassium or sulfate because or of sodium, then you can say it is soluble salt. Okay, if carbonate is of ammonium, sodium or potassium, then it is soluble. If it is with any other element, then it is insoluble. So that means priority will be given to first point. All salts of potassium, sodium and ammonium are soluble. Okay, it may be sulfate, it may be carbonate, whatever it is. If it has sodium, potassium, ammonium, then it is soluble salt. Now we will start preparation of insoluble salt. Insoluble salts are of sulfide, carbonate, bicarbonate. Okay, so these are insoluble salts. We will do preparation for that. For sulfides, direct combination is there: lead plus sulfur, lead sulfide, zinc plus sulfur, zinc sulfide, iron plus sulfur, iron sulfide. Okay, these all are insoluble salts because all sulfides are insoluble in water. Next method is combination of acidic oxide with basic oxide. Acidic oxides are metallic oxides and basic oxides are non-metallic oxides. See here, sulfur dioxide and calcium oxide, when heated together they will give calcium sulfide. Okay, carbon dioxide and calcium oxide will give calcium carbonate. Okay, so sulfite and carbonates, these are insoluble salt. So this is second method of preparation for insoluble salt. Now third method is important for you: precipitation or double decomposition. Children, you all know what is double decomposition? Interchanging of ions. Okay, and precipitation means whenever it is forming insoluble solid in a solution, you can say it is a precipitate. Now the salt which is insoluble except sodium sulfide and carbonate sulfates, then you can say the process will be precipitation reaction for the preparation of insoluble salt. If it is sulfide, then combination. If it is carbonate and sulfides, then combination. And after that, whatever insoluble salt you are getting, you will write precipitation or double decomposition only. Okay, so barium chloride and sulfuric acid will give barium sulfate. Okay, and HCl acid. Silver nitrate and hydrochloric acid will give silver chloride. I said one exception is there for chloride: silver chloride and lead chloride. These two are very important for you. Okay, silver chloride and lead chloride. So these are chlorides, but these are insoluble chlorides. So the preparation of these chlorides are with nitrate, silver nitrate and HCl gives silver chloride and nitric acid. Lead nitrate and HCl give lead chloride and nitric acid. Next exception was that all sulfates are soluble except lead sulfate, which is soluble in which is not soluble. It is forming precipitate. So lead nitrate reacts with sulfuric acid. It will give lead sulfate and nitric acid. So these all are insoluble salts. These all are insoluble salts. Okay, these are prepared by precipitation or double decomposition. Another property is hydrolysis. Hydrolysis is done with weak acid and strong base. So you will get basic or alkaline salt solution. Okay, when they are dissolved in water, weak acid and strong base. Strong base will give basic solution. Strong acid and weak base. So strong is acid. So your solution in water will be acidic salt solution. And strong acid and strong base, they both will give neutral because they nullified the effect of acid and base. Both are strong. Then you will get neutral salt solution. So what is hydrolysis? hydrolysis, salt formed by weak acid and strong base, or strong acid or weak base, when reacts with water to give acidic or alkaline solution, is known as hydrolysis. Okay, weak acid, strong base, you have to focus on strong only. So strong base will give basic solution of water, strong acid will give acidic salt solution, and both strong will get nullified, so it is neutral salt solution. Here pH value will be more than 7. Here pH value will be less than 7. And here pH value will be equal to 7. Okay. So this will give you the pH value. If it is more than 7, then it is basic. If it is less than 7, then it is acidic. If it is equal to 7, then it is neutral. Next is water of crystallization. A definite amount of water associated with one molecule of salt is called water of crystallization. Okay. Let's take one example of copper sulfate. When it is dissolved in water, so water will associate with copper sulfate. It is not chemically combined. It is only attached with copper sulfate. Okay. So you can say the water molecule which is associated with one molecule of salt is called water of crystallization. So here dot 5H2O is written with copper sulfate. So this is called water of crystallization. Now here are some examples of water of salt containing water of crystallization. Washing soda is Na2CO3.10H2O. So 10 molecule of water is associated with sodium carbonate. Epsom salt, MgSO4, 7H2O. Okay. Potash alum, K2SO4.Al2SO4 whole thrice dot 24H2O. Okay. So like this, these all salts are associated with some amount of water, and I will give you this table. You have to learn the chemical name, common name as well as formula. So in exam it may come like match the column, like that common name is given and you have to match with chemical name, or common name is given, you have to match with formula. So these are the question which will come with this topic, water of crystallization. So you have to remember this table. Okay children. Now see here, copper sulfate water gives copper sulfate 5.5H2O. This is also known as blue vitriol. Okay, because copper sulfate is of blue color crystals, and this one is white copper sulfate. It is in anhydrous form. You can see that reversible reaction sign is given here. That means white to blue it will change, and again on heating blue color will change into white color. That means it will lose that 5 molecules of water and again comes in the form of copper sulfate. Now next topic is efflorescence. What it is? When a salt exposed to dry air, it will lose its water of crystallization. Okay, water of crystallization, just now we have done this one. So if it is loosed by the salt completely or partially, then you can say that type of salt is efflorescent in nature. Okay, some examples are here. Washing soda, Na2CO3.10H2O. Glauber's salt, that is Na2SO4.10H2O. Epsom salt, that is MgSO4.7H2O. So these all contain some amount of water of crystallization in it. If they are losing these water of crystallization completely or partially, then you can say these are efflorescent salt. Okay. Now see here, washing soda when exposed to dry air, it loses its 9 molecule of water. Okay. Now it is monohydrate salt. Okay. One molecule of water is left. That's why it is monohydrate sodium carbonate. Okay. Now this Na2SO4 when exposed to dry air, it will lose all its water of crystallization. That means all water of crystallization is removed. So what is left? Na2 SO4 only. Next, third is Epsom salt. Epsom salt loses its 6 molecules of water. 6 molecules of water is loosed by Epsom salt. So what is left? MgSO4 dot 1 H2O. Children, we don't write 1 because it is understood that if H2O is written, that means it is one molecule. So again it becomes monohydrate. Okay, when one molecule of water is there, so monohydrate magnesium salt. Okay, magnesium sulfate. So you can say that when temperature is very high, the removal of water molecule will be very high. So you can say at high temperature salts behave more like efflorescent salt. Okay, so efflorescent salts are those salts which are present at high temperature. Okay. Now next is hygroscopy. This is another property of salt, that when salt absorbs moisture from the atmosphere, okay, it is absorbing moisture. Here it is removing, loss of water is here, and here it is absorbing water without dissolving in it. Children, you have to remember the point. Water is absorbed and salt is not dissolving in it. Okay, it is absorbing water but it will not form any solution. So this type of salt is called hygroscopic salt. And examples are concentrated sulfuric acid, phosphorus pentaoxide, quicklime, and silica gel. Silica gel you all have seen when you brought some new bottle, new shoes, new bags, some small pouch is there in that bag or shoes. That silica gel is kept to absorb moisture so that it can be rust that fungus free, like that. Okay, so silica gel is used to absorb water and it will never dissolve in that absorbed water. Okay, it will remain in the crystals form. Next is deliquescent. This is another property of salt that absorb water from the atmosphere, and it also absorb water from atmosphere, but here it is dissolving in it, and after dissolving it is forming a saturated solution. Here it is absorbing water but it is not dissolving, but here water is absorbed by salt, and after absorbing water it will dissolve completely in it and form a saturated solution. So these type of salt is called deliquescent salt, and examples are sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, magnesium chloride, iron chloride, calcium chloride, etc. So these are the substance which will dissolve completely in water, which is absorbed by this substance from the atmosphere. Okay. Children, here you will write substance, not salt. Okay. When a substance absorbs water from atmosphere and dissolve in it to form saturated solution, then that substance is called deliquescence. And when a substance absorbs water from the atmosphere without dissolving in it, it is called hygroscopic substance. Okay, don't write salt. Now one question is there table salt or sodium chloride, it is not deliquescent substance, but it turns moist in rainy season. Why it turns moist? It is not deliquescent but it is absorbing moisture. So your answer is that it contains some impurities like magnesium chloride or calcium chloride in it. These are impurities, okay, present in NaCl. So because these are deliquescent, in nature, so because of these two impurities, NaCl will get moist in rainy season. Okay, because these two are present in sodium chloride and these are deliquescent substance which can absorb moisture. So that's why sodium chloride is turning moist in rainy season. Now next is drying or dehydrating agent. Okay, drying agent is also known as desiccant or desiccating agents. So, and dehydrating agent. The function of both is to remove water from any substance. Okay. The property of drying agent and dehydrating agent is to remove moisture. Okay, drying agent, dehydrating agent, both function is to remove water. If water is removed by physical method only, okay, so you can say it is drying agent. And if water is removed by chemical method, then you can say it is dehydrating agent. Examples of drying agents are phosphorus pentaoxide, quicklime, and concentrated sulfuric acid. Concentrated sulfuric acid is also used for as drying agent also. So these two examples are common for both. Okay. So we will do now some exercise questions, and you have to do the assignment. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Okay. So I can solve your query or any doubt if you have.